There once was a knight named Sir Arthur, who would fight ghouls and ghosts to reclaim her.
I think you should know the lady ain't nothing but a hoe.
She's even been by your father. And currently getting lanced a lot by another sir, if you know what I mean. Oh, don't you concern yourself with all that. You've got a game to beat. Starting out in a now demon-infested village, the first thing Arthur should do is hop to the left. Doing so will trigger the first treasure chest, one which is guaranteed to be an evil wizard. It's fairly straightforward from here, and provided you don't get hit, you'll be awarded golden armour in the next chest. Skeleton murderers are easily dealt with, as long as you're quick. And the vultures just sit there, taking your shots. This is where Arthur should take the high road. Try not to give the skull spewing flowers time to fire at you. Their firing arc can catch you out if you're distracted. Dumb birds just sit there. The rest are easily dispatched with. And that's the first stage. You don't want to hang about here. Keep up the pace and you'll get through unscathed. Duck. Duck. The next part's easy, just don't die. This pig can be hit whilst off screen. As the playfield extends beyond the borders, many enemies can be hit whilst off screen. There's no point in using the armour's special move. Once your invulnerability wears off, you'll be in a terrible spot. Just be aggressive and keep your distance. The shielder's shots can be easily avoided. Level 2's a piece of cake. The rock turtles have a simple pattern. Just be ready to shoot any that decide to attack you. These bridges have weak spots to avoid, and an antlion waits underneath, ready to devour you. Ah, well done. While Arthur gets his shit together, why don't we take a look at the history of this awesome game, going way back to the granddaddy of platform games. Mario Brothers. Maintaining the cutesy appeal common in the industry at the time, Mario Brothers, along with the other progenitor to the genre, Pac-Land, introduced the now well-established elements of platforms and side-scrolling. Takuro Fujiwara, himself the creator of 2 retro games, Puyan and Higamaru, took those platform elements and used newly developed hardware to inject a little horror into proceedings. More well defined as a platform run and gun game, Ghouls'n Goblins, known as Makaimura in Japan, released in 1985 and became an instant hit. Not only did the more advanced hardware afford greater graphical complexity, it also allowed for more intricate gameplay, where tighter and more refined animation and hitboxes would allow the developers to increase difficulty without sacrificing fairness. And that's what makes these games great. Similar to modern titles such as the Souls series, these games are hard yet rewarding. They force you to learn enemy locations and attack patterns, building your investment for a greater sense of satisfaction. And the programmers never use cheap, unexpected tricks to increase difficulty. This lack of feeling cheated, along with the fun, addictive gameplay, meant you were happy to be parted with your money, and Ghouls'n Goblins made a shit ton. Moving on to new hardware with the Capcom Play System 1 for the sequel, known as Dai Makamura in Japan. Ghouls' Ghosts introduces more vibrant graphics at higher resolution, as well as larger sprites, pushing the gameplay even further. Whenever I play it in the arcade, I'm always struck by how refined the experience is, from the consistent art style that follows through into the impressive presentation, to the music and sound that sets the mood. It all gels together perfectly. Its popularity was massive going into the 90s, and was a cabinet you were pretty much guaranteed to see in any arcade you visited. Looks like Arthur's back on course. Once past the bridge, you have the flaming windmill to contend with, and the most annoying enemy in the game, the Red Armourer King, or Firebrand as he's known in the West. This will test your patience to the max. Fortunately, this level's respawn checkpoint is coming up, and provided Arthur can get there, death won't matter. The first chest trigger point is on this falling ledge. Again, the first will always be an evil wizard, but the next will be golden armour. Well, if Arthur wasn't already decked out. Instead, it will be a weapon. That's not good. The axe is the third worst weapon, behind the holy water and golden sword. It powers through multiple enemies at a time, but its stupid angle makes it unwieldy. You lucky bastard! This boss is the easiest in the game. Its projectiles are slow and its movements choreographed. Arthur should have no problems now he has his knife, even without armour. Level 3, the Fallen Towers, ramps up the difficulty somewhat. These flying goblins dropping rocks on your head before they dive bomb you are a real pain. Deal with these quickly before they overwhelm you. Same goes for these knights. These floating bear heads, known as beholders, are easily dealt with. Just be quick, as you have to make this gap in limited time. We're now at the Demon Mountains, the part which will test Arthur's platforming skills to the max. Timing is everything. Duck. Nice. Unlucky. Of course, Ghouls' Ghosts was ported to various platforms back in the day, the most notable being the incredibly accurate Genesis port, which was the version I cut my teeth on as a pup, and has one of the greatest video game covers in history. Just look at how gorgeous it is. Some ports, like the Master System or the Commodore, even feel like different games. And yes, there's an amazing Spectrum port. If massive slowdown is your thing, you could check out 1991's SNES version, which replaces vertical shooting with a double jump. Some modern indie titles pay homage to the Ghost franchise, my particular favourite being 2018's Battle Princess Madeline, a beautifully made game that has a character that can double jump, as well as shoot up and down. I recommend playing the arcade mode first, as the story mode can be a little bit aimless. It's available on Switch and is well worth checking out. Ghosts & Demons is an open-bore fan-made sequel to the original Ghosts & Goblins. It stays faithful to the original's brutal difficulty, and even surpassing it at times. The various armour strewn across the land grants special abilities such as a backflip and a ground pound. It also has replay value due to its branching path level design. Curse Castilla EX draws from European folklore to tell the story of Don Romerio as he fights his way through the demon-infested Tolomera del Rey. Like Ghosts & Demons, it also feels more faithful to Ghosts & Goblins in style, but includes the ability to shoot vertically. It too is available on Switch. Nicely done. The discus ain't too bad. The way it hugs the scenery can get frustrating though. Level 4, the Crystal Caves of the Great Abyss, sees a skeleton murderer's return, along with this new enemy, the Stump Golem. You're not hitting it. You're still not hitting it. Nope, still not. See? That'll be the golden armour, but this weapon's special ability is pretty pointless. These armoured worms are a pain. They use the scenery as cover, making them invulnerable to your fire. You have to coax them out. Nice. You've reached the respawn point in the waterfalls of the Great Abyss, a stage that will make good use of that discus. The blob hands show little threat. Their projectiles are slow and easy to avoid. The water worms are tricky to hit with the other weapons, requiring you to be below them on the waterfall. Duck. Just keep firing at these ghoul worms. Pressure causes them to have terrible aim. Be ready to jump off to the other platforms. Some drop down quickly, so watch out you don't end up as plant food. Fun fact, this boss, the Omi, along with the boss from Contra 4, the crustacean cruiser, were inspired by the creatures from Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, known as the Omu. You can also see the underground tree designs used in the background. This boss requires you to avoid the lava and shell worms attacking you, while you shoot the beast's randomly appearing hearts. Patience is the name of the game here. A not so fun fact about this boss: if you somehow manage to get to this point with the golden sword, you won't be able to reach the Omi's pulsating hearts. The issue is compounded on the Genesis, as the programmers, I guess in an attempt to make the game a little easier, added a respawn point right here, resulting in you having no choice but to reset your console. And so Arthur reaches the final level. Apart from these resurrected dragons and Astaroth from the first game, every enemy here we've seen before, with some being based on level bosses. And if one red armourer wasn't annoying enough, this level forces you to fight 4. Nice. Disappointing. A bit like the latest instalment in this series. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection misses the mark spectacularly, being frustratingly hard rather than rewarding. As difficult as Red Armourer was in previous games, he would make mistakes, like committing to an attack, enabling you to shoot him down. Here he seems to perfectly avoid your every attack, almost like he can read your control inputs or something. The misstep of the first game's annoyingly difficult cloud section is repeated with this pointless platforming section, causing the action to grind to a halt. The art style dramatically shifts between cutscenes and gameplay, which can be jarring. And the animation causes a game to feel laggy. Oh, and why in the fuck did they include the 4-way joystick issue seen in the previous arcade ports? Let me explain. You see, the original games, being released in the arcade, used a locked 4-way joystick, meaning it was impossible to achieve a diagonal input. But when the games were ported to the consoles, an issue with the programming was exposed. Pressing the diagonal of forward and down caused Arthur to stop and crouch, which, as you can imagine, is a problem in the middle of combat. The fix is easy, however. Just change diagonals to read as either being left or right movement, and only have the directly down input as crouch. Resurrection doesn't fix this bug, which I suppose is more authentic. Some bosses even appear to defy their own attack patterns at will. I had to give up when this Cerberus decided it could now target me perfectly with its jump attack. Oh, and these armoured knights are still an endurance. testing only your patience rather than your skill. Let's check back and see how Arthur's getting on. Oh nice, he has the knife. The pattern here is fairly straightforward. 1, 2, 3, and go. 1, and go. Simple. This tactic is risky. Astaroth can hit you if he moves forward enough. Special attacks give a moment of invincibility when first launched, enabling Arthur to avoid their first attack. The knife special attack comes in incredibly handy here. They don't stand a chance. Beelzebub is an absolute bullet sponge. No easy task, even with Arthur's rapid knife throwing hands. Keeping your distance doesn't really help either, as this thing can move vast distances in swarm mode. Just keep shooting it. Even as it changes form, it continues to take damage. Unlucky. You've got this. You've only gone and fucking done it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you have to play through the whole thing again to see the final boss. Yep. Listen, trust me, once you get the Psycho Cannon, it's a piece of piss. All you have to do to get it is destroy a chest with your golden armour on. It's more powerful, has a larger hitbox, and provided you have your golden armour on, will block enemy fire. Now whatever you do, don't lose it. There's nothing else for it, you'll just have to commit harry-carry. Oh come on, where you going? You're almost there. Guess I'll have to take over. Like I said, piece of piss. All you gotta do is kill the things, defeat old Big Head, get past the whatsits, extinguish the heat, avoid the gobs, deal with the one-eyed monster, run away, descend to the slug, take out Beelzebub, and finally you're able to meet Lucifer. You know, he's not so tough. Let's try that again. If you find a good spot, you can avoid most of his attacks, only having to dodge the odd laser beam and foot. Keep firing and he's done for. And there you have it. Guinevere is saved, and all is well in Camelot. The end. Or is it? Would you look at that? The top two. Oi, Arthur! I got the top score. Put it away, you silly cunt. Laters.